We are being joined today by Dwayne Nathan Jack.
Guard your heart because it's the wellspring of life. I've been chopped in the head. I've been this, that, and the other. So I could bump into the person and I'll be like, "You all right, mate? How you doing?" Looking down. I'll be like, "What are you looking at, bruv? What are you looking at?" But they're not even looking at me. But I'm in the fight and flight. Yeah. So he's going to get out of the car. He's jumped in the driver's seat and reversed over me. I'm in my cell. I've burnt every bridge on the street. So I was a problem. All the criminals, just major problem everywhere. And then I prayed out to God. And I went to sleep. And when I went to sleep that night, I was vibrating from head to toe.
We are back, episode 4 of the People and Purpose podcast. We are really, really lucky today. One of our old guests from the Purpose Playbook. We are being joined today by Dwayne Nathan Jack. Now, me and Rich were saying this morning, he always puts us to shame in the way he's dressed. He's one of the most well-dressed guests we ever have. Dwayne's story is incredible. How far he's come is amazing. We talk a lot about people and purpose, and he has found his purpose. So we wanted to get him back on because life's changed a lot, Dwayne, since we last spoke. So we're going to go through that today. We are going to start with our weekly recaps of what we've been up to.
Yes, mate.
So
welcome, mate. By the way.
Yeah, thank you.
I have to say, you're right. Like we did your interview through the Purpose Playbook 2 years ago, probably now. And at the time, we're telling your story and we're like, oh dear. I remember afterwards you walked out of the room and we were like, wow, that is nuts.
Because you didn't know Dwayne at the time,
I didn't know the story because you didn't tell me deliberately. And I was like, wow, some of those stories are nuts. And then what I love about the fact that you're back is just how different things are now. You were in a good place then and doing good stuff, but what you've done since then to now is like why we're here, because it's quality, isn't it?
Yeah, the development's been brilliant. Socials have been amazing, mate, watching them and stuff like that. Are you getting bored of podcasts yet?
No, because I think it's conversations, isn't it? I think conversation is always good for viewers because it's that conversation that builds relationships and it's that dialogue of information sharing, and that's what life's about, isn't it? Is it BT? It's good to talk.
Yeah, 100%. And because you're here today, I'm going easy on Rich a little bit today, which is news to your ears. You'll be happy with that. Yeah, so let's talk about our weeks personally. What you've been up to?
Few things actually. So we had a very busy week last week. I'm going to talk a little bit more about where I went, but I went to Centre Parks with the family. But that's actually coming into my gripes, so I'll save that for a little bit later on.
You have a good time though?
I had a good time, yeah, it was really good.
Little man's birthday.
Reagan was 5. Loving life, mate. Bowling around the place on a scooter, causing havoc.
Yeah.
The other two not so interested, but we got them going. So yeah. Anyway, very busy. I'm at the moment. I'm painting Amy Winehouse, as you know. Yeah. It's going slow. Like I've just
struggling with it.
Sometimes when work kicks off, having the even though I sort of tie in now the art that I do into business, or not business, that's the wrong word, but into like what we do and the content we create, I still feel a little bit guilty when I've got a massive to-do list and I want to go and spend some time being creative, and I know that's wrong.
Do you find it hard to get motivated by the painting?
I find it hard to stop something important I'm doing and take time out to go do that. I don't see painting as equal to the work.
It's really interesting because I don't know about you, Dwayne, but I would find painting so boring. I would really struggle to focus for that period of time. Like watching paint dry, right?
Yeah. But you're creating, right? And for me, busy, crazy ADHD mind, the ability to sit there for 2 hours, put on like an audio book or a podcast and just listen to that while I'm being creative is just this zone that you can get into, and it's so cool.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking when you were saying, oh, it's not right because you're doing that and not the work, but it is work because it's creativity. Yeah. It's the art of life, and I think sometimes finding that sweet spot when you're in your zones, that's when you get downloads and solutions. When you're in that zone. I think it's finding that zone as human beings, finding that zone, because it's a unique zone that the creativity comes.
Yeah, and that's something you do really well, actually. Like we spoke about it a bit, but you do really well when you get that focus. I mean, finding that focus is tough, right? With life going on around it. But you've obviously lost a day last week, which kills you because you're catching up. But when you get focused and you're in that zone, you're really good at that.
Yeah, I can. Once I'm in it, it's like the hyper focus, isn't it? But you're taking the first step to do it is the hardest bit. Then doing 3 hours worth of non-stop bringing something alive is easy after that.
Yeah.
It's that first decision. And I think sometimes I let work get in the way. But like you say, it sort of is the work, because if I'm not freeing up my brain to be creative, relax, take some time away from a screen, where do the ideas come from? Where does the calm thinking come from to be able to do the job better? So I need to probably tell myself that.
Yeah, I
bit
think
more.
you need that sometimes as well. You
100%.
need that focus. What about you, Dwayne? What personally in life, what's been going on over the last period of time? You've been up to much?
So in what space?
Just
of time?
in it, anything, work?
Yeah. So I've been working with some business owners, entrepreneurs on a one-to-one in their businesses, and I just get excited even when starting anew, because it's like a project, isn't it? It's building. So I get excited when I'm working with people, because sometimes they don't see the vision or in themselves. So it's like, when you see it and you get it out of them. So apart from that, just doing work on myself and just serving others.
Important actually. Your everyday life, I follow you a lot. You're inspirational in what you do. But for you, like we're talking about Rich being creative, for you the gym's really important, isn't it? Going to the gym and exercising for your head. And we'll talk about this more in a little while. But they're kind of your bits that you need to be doing constantly for your head. To sort of for you to function better in every part of your life.
Is that like a non-negotiable every day, 7 days a week?
Yeah, non-negotiable. So like this morning, I'll be in the gym just after 6 because I'm not waiting outside the door. I'll do my CV, my weights, sauna, steam room, cold plunge, non-negotiable. That's my uniform for the day.
Love that.
Nice.
And that'll be every day, even if it might not be heavy training. But I still jump on the bike.
What's the impact on you if you don't do it?
My energy isn't to where it is because of the dopamine and endorphins. So it's like my uniform to say, come, let's go. And then it obviously attracts new ideas. That's my zone. That's my sweet spot, is when I'm in the gym, the ideas come. So you might do a text or the email and it's just all flowing. Without that, I probably wouldn't make certain actions, etc., because you're a bit slower.
And does your missus see a difference if you don't train?
Yeah, she would do. She'd see, because she would encourage, get to the gym.
That's just because she wants you out, mate.
Yeah. So she would say, look, get to the gym or whatever it is. If I'm, because I might just have a little morning where I'm just a bit slow at the moment. So I'm not there. I'm not awake, so she knows Dwayne's not there yet. Get to the gym to get him there.
Is there anything else apart from the gym that you do to kind of to function properly? Is there anything else you need to do?
Yeah, my meditation.
Okay. So
my meditation, because as well as I can get hyper rapidly in the morning, so people think I've just come out of the club or I've been on one. So because of my energy, I'm walking past people. I say, "You all right, mate? Yeah, are you winning?" And they say, "Winning with what?" I said, "Life." I said, "I don't know." "Well, you are. You're breathing."
Yeah.
So
I love that.
I'd have to bring down my arousal levels because I know myself now. So that it can be good in certain situations, but then sometimes you can act on impulse. So I bring my arousal levels down after the gym, so I become grounded. And then I can go into emotion, because it can get too much for people. I'm bothered because it's innocent, but you still got to cater for others as well.
Yeah, of course. That's really interesting. We'll come back to that in a little while. So my week, personally, wife's been away for the week. She's been on holiday.
Enjoyed that?
No, not really. I missed her, actually. I haven't been away from her for that long, for a long period of time. But picked her up last night. So she was away for 6 days. So in all the time that I've known her, we've never been apart for that long. So it was it was nice that she got away. I like that she got away, but it's also nice to have her back, and been a lot of jobs on the list this morning for me to do. So also went to watch my son in a show. So really proud moment for me. My son started BTS, Berkshire Theatre School, a year ago, and he got the main part in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory recently. So went to watch him, and he was incredible, and it's super proud parent moment for me. You came and watched as well.
I was so happy I came. Do you know what? It's what life is all about. And I'd never seen him before, and he's up on stage, and I'm watching this kid, and I'm thinking, that is so talented, man. Like, he was just a natural. But what I loved was I looked over at Brian, and this guy is just in his element. He's crying, I think, which is fair to say. And I can understand why. And you were just the proudest person, like the biggest smile on your face. Yeah. And I think, you know, that is it.
I really struggle for him. You know, my daughter used to play football, and she was brilliant as well. And I get nervous, you know, when you go into a cup final. But you know what I thought when I was sat there? And he obviously had the main part. And Berkshire Theatre School is incredible. It's an incredible show they put on. But when I was watching him, he was phenomenal. But you know when you used to play like football finals, or you used to do things where you were in a final or something, or you were a main part or something like that, what I don't think we ever think of is, this could be the last time I'm a main part. Or this might be the last football final I'll ever be in.
So you don't enjoy it, you don't live in the moment, do you?
You feel like you're going to have more, right?
Yeah.
So when I used to play in football finals, I'd always imagine that next season will be the same. Yeah. And it wasn't always. And I think what that moment taught me, as proud as I was like, you have to take every moment as it. There might not be another moment at that level. I hope there is for him, of course. Like, he did really well. But it's like, I said to him after, you've got to take that in, because you might not get another main part for 4 or 5 years. That moment was so special, and he did so well.
He definitely will.
But I guess we sometimes don't live in the moment of what's kind of how well you do and how well you're doing. And then we had a team night out.
We did have a team night out.
Last Friday, good night. We went to Wokingham, went to Dem 42. We had a...
Feel old, to be honest.
Shuffleboard
These team
and darts.
nights out. Gets quite competitive when Brian turns up to team nights out.
Yeah.
Doesn't it?
Yeah,
I haven't really played darts for Brian.
I actually don't think I won a game, to be honest. But I'll blame Rianne for that.
Yeah.
Cool. So, our neurodiversity section. So, I want to talk to you, Dwayne, today about prisons. Yeah. So, Rich, you've got some statistics around neurodiversity in prison.
Well, it's interesting, actually, because you can't always believe all stats you hear. And interestingly enough, one of my stats was up to half of people entering prison may be neurodivergent. But you said 95%. I know that probably was a bit, maybe a bit of an exaggeration, but what you're basically saying is, who isn't in prison? There's probably a big reason why you're in there. So it's really interesting. But effectively, the stat being is that there's a big link, right? So Cambridge study, up to 1 in 2 people arrested in London have undiagnosed ADHD. ADHD is 10 times more common in prison than outside. So, there's a huge correlation between having a different brain, a brain that you might not quite understand, something that we can relate to, and actually ending up in the wrong place. What's your experience of that?
I think, obviously, prison is the place where their behaviours become unmanageable, and then obviously they broke the law to end up in there. I think probably half of the population have got some kind of ADED, whatever acronym and diagnosis there is. But within the prison population, you do see, and there's a variety of different behaviours you see. You do get the minority that it's really blatant, but you do see the different kind of different states of consciousness, different ADHD. You see it a lot, and even within adults as well, you see it, because obviously once you become aware, you're not speaking to that. When you're speaking to individual people, you're not speaking to the same person. So you got to discern to see who you're speaking to for their understanding and their learning. Obviously, that's a skill within itself. Yeah. Because if you haven't got that skill, you're thinking he's taking the mickey or whatever, but he's not. He's not registering it. It's taking a while for him to get it and understand. You have to be
quite understanding, right?
Yeah.
Which I don't think that it can't be that much understanding in prison, right? It's quite a volatile place.
I think that's one of the big things I talk about is like trying to understand other people, right? One of the things for me is what I speak to a lot of young people about is, like you said, autism, ADHD, everything at the moment. But ultimately, if you get to that age and you do something wrong, it doesn't matter whether I have ADHD and it doesn't matter whether I have autism. If I steal a car, I am going to get arrested and sent to prison.
Yep.
And You talk a lot there about now your everyday life becomes going to the gym and meditation, and you've come up with that over years of what works for you.
Yes.
How did you cope with that level of kind of being up here and that excitement and buzzing, or were you a very different person in there?
When I was in prison.
Yeah, like that enjoyment that you say, the energy that you have.
I'd have it in there as well.
But
it wasn't contained.
No, but how do you? Yeah, that's the thing. So like, how do you contain it in there? Like, how do you manage that inside prison? Because you're dealing with so much.
But it wasn't. It wasn't contained. Obviously, out here, when I was in that world, it wasn't contained because I was just loud, and even within the prison I was just that guy. Do you understand? But deep down behind the guy was a good guy. So even guys that would come onto the wing, because I'll be on the servery, I'll be sitting there because I'm one of the main heads on the wing because of my character as well. But you'd have guys say, oh, when I come on the wing I looked and I thought, cool, blimey, I bet he's like a bit of work. But then he gets speaking and say, you're complete, because I'm a good guy, kind-hearted, look after people, support people. If I see bullying going on or whatever it is, however, I would still have that loud kind of character. Come on the wing, and their music A, B, and C. Come back from the gym, but then I could switch as well, just like that switch. I think, what are you looking at? And then I started understanding myself a little bit more. So I'd go to the gym. I'm in fight, flight, and freeze now. I obviously didn't understand at the time. So when I come back, I'm on the phone to my missus. I look up there on the balcony looking down. I'll be like, what are you looking at, bro? What are you looking at? But they're not even looking at me, but I'm in the fight and flight.
Yeah.
So then what I started doing, because I saw the patterns, I'd come back from the gym and I'd go behind my door, put the lock on the door, and then I would meditate.
Wow.
And then I'd come back out.
So when did you start doing that? And why? Like how, because that is a very mature thing to do in prison.
Yeah.
So like what talk us through that bit. Like, how did you get to there?
Because I started realising I'd be switching on people, and then it seemed a bit like well, not bullying, because I'm switching on. It didn't matter who it was, because I'd just switch. I was like, what are you talking about? Even if they are like about it. And then I found myself getting in them situations to realise, wait there a minute, this is me. So then I started picking up on the patterns. I would go bring my arousal levels down. Now I'm not getting in them situations. Then there'd be about 30 men going to the gym, and they're trying to get through the doors, to get to the equipment first, to get the benches. And they're all like through there like animals. We're like trying to get through. Then after that, I'm saying, what am I doing? So then I just let them do that, and then I just walk in after. So I'm changing. Instead of being part of the herd, I'm changing the way I'm thinking, the way I'm moving. And then even around the exercise yard, people talking stories about this, that, and the other. And I say, listen, you want to walk with me? I'm not talking nonsense. So then I just started walking the path that less travel. But it took, I think it's identifying, once you become conscious, you identify the patterns of the pain and put it together. Then you take it out and then reduce. But I think you have to be conscious of it. Something has to have happened. You have to have been through so much for you to say enough's enough to actually pick up on it.
Yeah, and listen, that leads us really nicely into your story. Because, I know we spoke about this before, but yours, like I said, is for me, it's one of the most inspirational in terms of what your starting life and getting that conscious in yourself and realising, because that's quite a hard thing to do as individuals and humans. I think it's hard, and you've spoke a lot there about looking at someone else and trying to understand, right? So take us right back. Take us right back to the start of your life, because we did a lot of I had a lot of conversations over the last few podcasts about young people in care, and I think young people that grow up in the care system are some of the most resilient people, and I see that in you. Like your resilience is huge, right? So take us right back to the start of your life, what you've been through. You take as long as you want, because I know you've been through quite a bit. So take us through, and then get us to the point of you the sort of turnaround.
Yes. From the catalyst, that part.
Yeah.
And I'm particularly interested in, because I know I remember this from your story, and I've also seen some videos recently where you're talking about like the people who helped you. like the people in your life that sort of made that little impact on you, that helped you in a different way.
And you might not have realised at the time that they were making an
Yeah.
impact, but when you look back, because we talk a lot about the people in our lives that you think back and thought, actually, they were trying to teach me the right thing or the right way.
Yeah,
I couldn't see at the time.
Yeah, totally, 100%.
Yeah, so...
Yeah. I grew up on a council estate, single parent family. My dad left, new wife, new life. I was probably about 3, 4-ish. There was domestics and stuff going on with my old man and mum. He obviously left, but it was a nuclear kind of family then. It was. He'd go to work. He played football. He was just good guy, working guy. Obviously, it didn't work, and then mum got a new boyfriend. He was puffing, selling a bit of ash, green, whatever it is. So then at a very young age I started witnessing. Then the police started raiding the house, and as they started raiding the house, and then my mum would pick us up from school, and we were in the bus going home, and we're going past our home and telling them duck down on the bus. I'm thinking, what are we ducking down for? Because we're going past our house, we're not going back because of mum's boyfriend, because obviously domestics again. So we've gone to refuge, whatever it is. And then we end up moving to another estate in Slough. She got back with him, and then it was kind of, I would wake up in the middle of the night, come down, and there's obviously adults at the table smoking. My house was one of the houses where people were coming to buy drugs, not class A drugs. There was a little bit of foundation there trying to discipline A, B and C, but cannabis was being smoked, drugs being sold, bit of dodgy dealing, Del Boy and Rodney, bit of Tom, bit of gold coming in, and my mum doing bits of credit cards and stuff. So that went on. So when I'm pretending to play computer, really, I'm listening to conversations of all the criminality. So that went on. They obviously split up in the end because it weren't working. Then my mum, she would be out raving, left with the babysitters, and then I just drifted off then to the older boys for belonging, acceptance. And then as I started drifting off, they wouldn't let me go with them at first. Oh, no, your mum, A, B and C. And then after a while, it start off petty theft, and then stealing and smoking, cannabis, drinking. But the time this is obviously 11, 12. Before that, I ended up being a problem for my mum. So she just called social services, take the little, because I was a problem, smashing the house, behaviour problems. And then I went to the care of local authority. So I went to a foster home and was in the foster home for a little while with another boy from the estate that was a crack house. His mum was obviously on crack, and his house is in Crack City. That's the estate it was called. So he was in the foster parents with me, because we had the bunk beds. So we was from the same estate. So that was that. Obviously, I went back home in the end because I said I'll behave myself, etc. But then I misbehaved again in the children's zone. So I was in and out of children's zone. They remind me to the care of the local authority because there was criminal stuff as well. But then they put me in a children's zone on the estate. So it was just another spot to get a bit of food and then off again. So that went on. But then the time I was 12, 13, then I was being groomed and exploited. So then I was in the West End of London selling crack and heroin. So I was 12, 13. I had a 23-year-old knocking the door for me. And then obviously he was taking me into the West End, showing me all like stuff, how to do this, that and the other. And then I'm looking up to him because there's no role model, no male role models in my life. My dad's not there. The mum's boyfriend's gone. But whilst he was there, he was still obviously keeping me in check. There was that authority. But once he left, I was off. And then, I got my first DTO, detention and training order, for children at 13 because I was a menace to society, the magistrates, Slough magistrates. And then from there, it was Vinnie Green in Bristol. I was a problem there. I was kicking out. I was just fighting all the boys from Bristol, Manchester. So then they shipped me down to Kent, Medway. And then I was a problem there in education, kicking out the panels. They got group 4s. I was causing riots. They put me on a unit with an officer, Teapot his name was, Big Steadhead, yeah. And the unit was being refurbished. It was like a block isolation. They put me on there because I was that much of a problem. I was causing mayhem. We go into the canteen to eat and there's like huts all around. And they said, then we're not playing football because someone chucked a yogurt or something in the thing. So I'm jumping on the table with plastic knife and fork. I'm causing riots, yeah? So when we have to go back to the unit, I'm giving it legs. Now they're all banging on the windows of the units because I'm on the green, the big massive green, getting chased by about 30 Group 4 officers, yeah? They're falling in the mud, like, and I'm off again. They're going, woo. So now I've set a trend. Every time we're going to get food, there's riots.
Sorry. I was going to ask something. I just want to know why.
Yeah.
Like, why do you have the recollection back then? You've got the stories,
Yeah.
but do you know what's going on in your head as to why you were such a problem?
Yeah, because I wanted, obviously later on in life, I found out, but at the time I didn't. It was just being a menace, isn't it? It's your emotional, just not being able to manage my emotions. And if you say something or see something I don't like, then you explode because it's emotional control.
Yeah.
So it's like every time there's a bit of salt in the wound, you're fighting, screaming, smashing, picking up whatever you can see to pick up and fight with. So that's what was obviously later on I've discovered what it was.
Yeah. I just want to ask you something at this point in the story. We'll carry on. We spoke last week around grooming and I guess what I want to ask is, what did grooming look like for you? How were you enticed into it?
Yeah.
And what you see these days in the difference is in what they're doing and how, how potentially a school or local authority could notice how someone is being groomed. Like what changed? How did life change for you at that point?
So for me, I was creeping out of school. It was like primary school. So I wanted to be with the older boys. And then for me, it was looking to see what they had, like the clothes, the money, and it was the belonging, the acceptance of male role models. Well, there is no positive like role models around. So the only ones were the ones that were being naughty. And even if it is adults, they're still smoking drugs, selling drugs. So then the younger ones closest to me are doing the same things, aspiring to be like them. It's like the rankings that everyone was being groomed at some way, some form, even from bloody parents, from where we came from. And it was the norm to sell drugs, take drugs, or do crime to graft, make a bit of dough. So that was the kind of monkey see, monkey do. So some of the signs were obviously, avoiding local authorities, school, the mainstream institution. You would avoid that, and even like sometimes parents, because so then you'd be isolating yourself and then getting up to no good. But then in that process, them fulfilling a need, wasn't it? A model, male role model, plus like whether it was cannabis or drugs and whatever it may be. So there was that side of things where needs were being met, but at the time you don't really know because you just want to be one of the lads and fit in.
I talk a lot about attachment in my life and the people that kind of stayed, the people that were there and stayed. I guess in that situation, you need the attachment of a male role model, but sometimes you hold on to the attachment of the wrong people.
Yes.
And which then shapes your life in a way that you now look back on and say is wrong, but at the time you wanted that attention, you wanted that attachment, you wanted that care, approval, everything that you're talking about, that now you look back on as wrong, but wasn't at the time.
No.
And at what point in your life did you see that? When did you sit there and think that was wrong for me at that time, and how different life potentially could have been if I'd have had different role models?
Yeah, I think when I got into my like late teens, then I started thinking, wait there a minute, and I was a little bit bigger as well. So when they were taking advantage and giving me a few slaps and like bullying, because I got a bit bigger, and I'd probably say no, and then they'd obviously, so then I got a bit bigger, I could look after myself, so then I'd be able to obviously defend myself. So it was then I realised, this person that used to control, get me to do A, B and C, I've got bigger, now I'm saying no, Now there's conflict. Yeah, he might give me a few slaps or something then, but then now I've been secure unit, I've gone felt and put on a few plates on the bench. Now and then now I'm boom, boom, boom back. So then once I've then done my stuff there, then I realise, he was actually grooming, exploiting me, bullying me the whole time. So it was only when I got old enough to defend myself that I was able to go, okay, and then the tables turned. And that's why I never ever groomed anyone, me, or exploited anyone, because I think it was the vulnerability that I had and what happened to me. I've always been a protector. So even when I was banged up, I would see vulnerable boys getting bullied, and I'll go in there, and there'd be three firm lads like that, and I'll go in, and I must have had a bit of weight, because if there's three of them, and then I would make sure they come out of the cell. If they come in again, tell me. So I had an authority even as a young age, and look after people. If they were from Slough, I'd look after them. So I was a bit of a protector throughout my journey.
That's quite rare, isn't it? Is that you've I'm not hearing that there are many positive role models in your life to date.
Yeah.
And you've made a decision to be the positive role model. I don't think many people do that. And one of my questions is, when did you have a positive role model in your life? When can you put your finger on a person in your life that actually cared about you and started to think about getting you on another path?
To be honest, I don't think there is a specific role model that's been there for me. I might have looked and thought that works, he's good, or people that I work with think by observation, and then mimic some of the things, even the way you dress or whatever it is. And after a while, you see, wait there a minute, that works. So that communication, the way you dress, A, B, and C. So I've picked, but there hasn't been a specific, because people are shocked even up to now. Who's mentored you?
Yeah.
Who's think? And no one has. It's been freestyled.
Do you think a part of that is down to, I know certainly myself, I talk a lot when I was in school, and I needed people to be there for me.
Yes.
I felt like someone needed to tell me I was good enough.
Yes.
Right? I needed to trust, but when they threw me out of a classroom, I didn't trust them. They was gone for me. Do you think a big part of your problem is you never trusted anyone?
Yes.
Because that period of time, you were looking up to people that you then realised was wrong.
Yeah.
Do you think trust is a massive thing, and do you still suffer with that now in terms of letting people in? And
Yeah, 100%. I've got a major trust. I don't let anyone in, because even throughout this journey of me being conscious, being awake and serving, being this good guy, that's been even worse, because I'm thinking, I'm all right now because I'm out of that world, that criminal world. But then I realised it's even in the business world, in the legit world. So it made me even vulnerable within the last 10 years, going into business with people, wearing my heart on my sleeve. So now I'm like zero tolerance of nonsense. I'm not even like any sign, boom, cut off, whether it's family, associates, business. I'm like a military soldier now, because I have to safeguard myself. It says, guard your heart, because it's the wellspring of life. Because if your heart's troubled, then your whole reality is going to be troubled. So now I'm like, I don't trust anyone. And
how has that served you in relationships throughout your life?
What, with that motto?
So how has the lack of trust, you and your missus really close now? How hard was it to let her in and bring them barriers down? Because I've had problems in relationships over the years because I'm waiting for something to go wrong.
Yeah.
Constantly. And sometimes I'd instigate something going wrong.
Yes.
Just because I needed to. But how have you let your walls down to let someone in?
To be honest with you, I'll be transparent, because that's what I am, because I'm different from the rest. I'm detached from everything and everyone. I care, but if you bite me, once bitten, twice tight, I love you from a distance, like family A, B, and C, because what I've found with human beings, hurt people. And my coping strategy and what I use now, there's no one with the characteristics, the values, I ain't even got no friends, but I've got a friend in myself, I don't need any friends, because the way I look at it in my world, my reality, there's not the standards to be my friend, because a lot of people, and even their own friend, got their own discipline, self-control, caring for themselves. So how are they gonna care and me trust them and A, B, and C when they don't even trust themselves? Because I've got high standards of how I am as a human being. And throughout the last 10 years, I've given people opportunity that I've grown up with. I've given them life. And do you know what happened? There's resent, jealousy, envy, and it doesn't matter what you do, yeah? And it's not even their fault. It's my fault. Because why are you going to give someone something that they haven't worked for and give them a fast track? They're going to destroy it. They're going to chuck it in your face. You will always be the perpetrator, even if you are the hero, because that's part of the human behavior and psychological patterns, that there's too much trauma out there. So the way I look at it, yeah, I've got my wife there. My wife, we do our thing. But out of that, it's straight business. My life is a business because I've got one opportunity. And I don't even care. My kids, my boys, yeah? Disrespect. So, okay. Go over there into the wilderness. You know what I stand for. You know I'm love. Like I could get a call. Dad, Abe, and say, okay, come on then, son. And then bite, disrespect, boom, boom. Okay, now it's come to the point. Go on, go suffer. When you're ready, I'm here. But that's obviously my sons. But even with them, I'm strict with it. Because if I let someone disrespect me, devalue me, I'm not valuing and respecting myself. And that's including whether it's mum, son, wife, A, B, and C. I've got high standards because I love and respect myself now. And when people come around me or want to do business, they know I do business. Do you know what I mean? As strong as it is.
It's really, really powerful.
It's powerful, isn't it? I know, you know, without going into detail, there will be people that you and I know you definitely have given a lot of people opportunities who have let you down.
Yeah,
Lots.
yeah, and you know, I've let people down as well. Like I think, you know, it's that realization. What essentially you're doing is protecting yourself from being let down. Because what I see in you, and you know, I'm more than happy for you to correct me if I'm very similar in the way we are. You give yourself when I hear you talking like that, you give yourself a little opportunity to be let down by someone else. You dictate the narrative of everything in your life, which is really important, right? Because self-preservation for you is the most important thing, you know. And you know, you've got yourself into a position now where you can pick and choose who you work with, right? So if you're let down, it's your fault because you put yourself in that position, and that's really, really important, really powerful as well.
I was a little bit. I was listening to you, and I was like a bit conflicted with what you're saying, and actually, like, I actually needed to like. I was like thinking it through while you were talking, because on one hand you're like positive role model, protector of people, but at the other hand you're like, you know, keep your distance, one man island, and if you cut me, you're dead, you know. But I get that sometimes the protection is in the standards you set, and you're teaching people a way of looking after yourself and to have high standards. And if they fall underneath that, well, that's on them, and they need to learn, and they need to go away, and they need to come back once they've done the work, you know. So actually, to begin with, I was thinking that doesn't make sense, but actually I got to a point where I can see how that works.
And just to elaborate on that, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and it's been my right. There's a dad that comes home from work. He comes home from work, and when he comes home, his two little girls are screaming, crying. And he's like, what's the matter? What's the matter? They said, Mummy slapped me. Mummy slapped me. And he said, okay, well, what did Mummy slap you for? And he goes, because we never done our homework. He goes, okay. He goes, so what happens if we went on holiday and left our front door open and our windows? He goes, the cats, dogs, foxes would come in, maybe burglars. He goes, yeah. He goes, next time, don't leave the door open for your mum. I've just stopped leaving the door open, because every time I do, I get bitten. However, I still give people an opportunity, and I will discern, and always I'm here to serve. But in my personal life and within me, I've had to do that because I've come from a place where people haven't evolved. They're hurt down to family members. I only have to walk in the room. I went into a funeral the other day. I'm offending people just by being me. Because you can evolve, and when you evolve consciously, you're doing so much. People in the same places, same spaces. So you're offending them just by being you.
You're literally making them feel bad about themselves.
Yes.
That's got to be. You probably see people now that are like, who's this fella?
Yeah.
Because he ain't who I remember him to be. And how do you cope with situations like that? People you're seeing from the old estate, people you're seeing that you've been in prison with potentially. Like, how do you see that? And if you are trying to help someone, like you said, you're always there for people. I mean, you might not let them in on a real close level, but what's your advice to someone who hasn't quite grown to where you've been able to?
Yeah. So my advice is obviously it gets more painful and more darker. So until you're ready to look at yourself, where that pain's coming from, identify, heal and reveal, and start working on yourself, you're going to continue being who you are and hurting yourself and hurting everyone around you, and especially people that are, because it's the condition of the heart, basically. It's the condition of the heart where if the heart's hardened, mine used to be hardened in the other world, it's actually sensitive now, and I'm very conscious and aware and compassionate for people, for everyone. And there's an old proverb to say, if you love your children, you will discipline them. And part of this is kind of discipline. Or you just carry on and give people a license to do wrong, behave wrong, and A, B, and C. So you're giving them a license and going with it. So sometimes, as cutthroat as it seems, and it's out of the ordinary, it's actually love. It's because I know when I broke the rules, I ended up spending a lot of time within prison, and I will continue in prison, and I did. And even if I break other rules that you can't see, taste and touch, the universal laws, I end up getting punished. So I'm just implementing the same laws that I implement. If I do good, I'm rewarded.
In yourself.
So I'm doing that with others. I'm just a vessel of doing exactly the same mirror image of you do good, I'll feed you, I'll feed you, I'll feed you. You do bad, then A, B, and C to me. It's a method. It's a way of living.
So important. Like, that's really, really insightful. And, I take a lot from that. Like, in that. I just want to go back. I don't think we're going to get through everything in your story. So I think we could be here all day. But what I want to talk about is when you came out, 27, you came out and things sort of turned.
29.
29. Rich messed up on that.
That's all right.
29. I wanted to ask you, because you speak about you don't know the one person, but I know you worked for a gardener, or you did some gardening, and that guy gave you an opportunity when no one else did. So when someone maybe hasn't mentored you, that person gave you opportunity to change, right? So talk to us about him and sort of at what point that changed you and gave you the impetus to be different.
So there's the Jason. So he was the banker, and I started working for him. I was like doing the roof in his nanny's bit. So then I was employed by Neil, but then in the end he employed me, obviously a bit of labour. So then he took me off of that, and then I was doing the gardening. So then I become his gardener, watering the plants. I'm off for the hard labour, and now I'm watering the plants. Weighty high favour, So then I started obviously looking and learning how I think I started even dressing like him, And then that's how obviously I got into the prisons moving forward. But it got me that stability of making money, paying my taxes, doing my driving license A, B, and C. I was there for 2 years. I'll go in on a Saturday. I think I was getting £100 a day, so I think it's like £500 a week, or £80 a day, £500 a week doing the Saturday. So I'll go in, do my digging and stuff. So it brought me that sustainability. It asked me to dig that hole and then put it back over in the same place on the Saturday. However, you have to be a yes man till you become a boss man, and it would just go over my head because I was happy, I was free, I wasn't in jail, and I was go home after. So it didn't really matter whether I was picking the daffodils or digging a hole, or even sitting around a big massive tree with my secateurs, on the thing, listening to my YouTube, cutting the bits that are coming out like that in the soggy mud. I'm killing 2 birds or 3 birds with 1 stone. I'm listening to information. I got my notebook out because I knew I was sitting there, I was smiling. I tell Mark on a Friday, I'm going to go and clean the toilets. He's going to say, what are you going to go and do that for, you mug? I said, because I know who I am, what I am, and I know where I'm going. Yeah, because it has to be a process to obviously develop that boss, and it don't happen overnight. And what young people of this day and age, they think you become a boss man overnight, but there's a character that needs to form through the process, just like the diamonds and the gold. So that was my process where I was forming with the opportunity that Jason gave me for that 2 years. And that was kind of the cornerstone to everything else.
I think that's a really good lesson for a young person, is that I think most people in your position who've probably used to earning, I'd imagine, better money before, like, you're prepared to be humbled. Do you know what I mean? It's a humbling experience.
It was life humbling me.
You've almost taken a step back from the lifestyle, from the money, but you're putting in the graft.
Yeah.
And I think that's something, you're right, that young people don't quite understand, because it's so easy to go on social media and look at this like hustle porn culture of start a business tomorrow and you'd be a millionaire. It doesn't work like that.
No.
Last question,
Yes.
and then we'll move on because Rich has got some questions. I think I've known a lot of people who are really institutionalized from prison, right? So you've come out at 29, got this job, you've got this opportunity, and you've built yourself back up. I would imagine from the age of 13, from young offenders to prison, right? Lots of changes. I would imagine you were institutionalized.
Yeah.
You're getting free cooked meals a day. You've got your gym. You've got your routine. Yeah. How did you cope with uninstitutionalizing yourself?
How did I cope to like, undo it?
Yeah, because you were making excuses to go back to prison at certain points, right? You were doing things wrong subconsciously to go back because it was your safe space. Yeah. As mental as that sounds, it was where you were comfortable, right? How did you snap out of that?
The pain, basically, because every time I used to go back, when I'd come out, the self-sabotaging would get even worse. So it was getting darker and deeper until it would obviously be my life, because I'd become a problem to the streets as well. So it was either someone take me out or I take them out. And then obviously prison was the safe haven. But I think the last time it becomes so chaos where it was a problem, a major problem, even in the streets, where it was just too much. I was just a problem everywhere. That it was like I had to die to the old self. I had to.
Had you burnt too many
bridges? There was no more bridges to burn.
Were you coming out? I guess one of the things I want to ask you, you're so intriguing when I'm listening to it. What did you fear? Like, at what point in your life did you fear something? Because you've been stabbed, shot, run over, all of it. At what point did you fear anything?
I didn't. That's the thing.
But to this day,
I don't fear anything or anyone. I'm still, and that's with even in the business world. I've had no fear where I'm there in front of the governor. There's like 150k on the thing, and I said, no, I'm not happy. But my missus is thinking, well, what are you saying that for? Because I'm just raw with it. Because I don't fear, and I'm not attached to. Go on. What?
No, I guess my point is like you're very different to a lot of people in the way they think. So. You can deal with situations. I guess the point I'm getting to is because you fear nothing, you've been able to get to this point. And that's kind of my thing. Like, I talk a lot about my wife about worrying. I'm like, well, what's the point? It's still going to... And I know it's slightly different, but I'm saying like, you live your life now in fear of nothing, but you've changed your persona and who you are to fit yourself and what you want to do with the world.
Has he changed his persona, or has he just worked out who he is?
He'd have always, like he was saying when he was in prison, he was a caring person. So my point being is, he's always that person's always been in there. He just wasn't given the foundations initially to be that person, right? And then you get involved in this, and one thing leads to another. And at 29 when you come out, did you still have problems that were ongoing?
No.
That were gone?
Yeah,
or were they gone when you got?
In my head, they were gone. Obviously, it was like the streets, everything that was going on. But I was the type of people, like, I've been chopped in the head, I've been this, that, and the other. So I could bump into the person and I'll be like, "You all right, mate? How you doing?"
That's mad.
Has that happened?
Yeah, loads
That's
of times.
mad.
Yeah, all the time. I've got the guy that chopped me in my head, yeah, and then I cut him. We got a podcast, yeah. I spoke to him the other day. I said, let's do it again so I can release it, because it's not natural. It's very extreme that you could be on there. He set my mum's house on fire as well. He chopped me in the head. I sliced him, and then I'm speaking to him, and like, he's obviously in Jamaica because he got deported, but to be able to be on the call, and he's kind of still in the zones when he's talking about, like, they tried to lift me up, put me in the boot, yeah, but my body was too heavy, so they didn't. They said just run him over, reverse over, but the driver was saying, because the driver, we grew up together, had sleepovers, mum borrowed milk off him and vice versa. He's saying, right, and the driver wouldn't, so he's gonna get out of the car. He's jumped in the driver's seat and reversed over me, yeah. And we're on the podcast speaking about it. He's still in the zones, like I see, like adrenaline rush as he's speaking, but it's not even phasing me because obviously I'm not even that same character.
When did you let go of that anger? Because there has to be anger of it, right?
Yeah.
So
No, there is
what
none.
point in your no, but when did you let go of that? Because you must have had to let go of so much.
Yes.
From yourself and from other people.
But it feels like there was never an event, because all of our questions, we're trying to almost get to this. What was the moment?
Oh, the moment was, let me break it down. So the moment was, I was in and out of wanting change, yeah? So I was in the church, I was in the mosque, I was in the self-help library. I wanted change. Every time I went to jail, safe haven, yeah, all needs met. Abraham Maslow's hierarchy of needs, all that there. So I'm in the library, I'm in the church. I have my experiences in the church certain times. And then I think this Jesus stuff's not happening. I go into the mosque, I'm in there, and I'm thinking, nah, this ain't a bit of me, because I've obviously had Christianity in my life. And then in the end, 2012, I'm in my cell. I've burnt every bridge on the streets. I was a problem. All the criminals, just major problem everywhere. And then I prayed out to God, and I went asleep. And when I went asleep that night, I was vibrating from head to toe. The only feeling that I can explain, because I've took every drugs under the sun, is ecstasy, MDMA. But I'm in the cell sober on my own. And then I was like shaking like that, pure light. And then in the morning, or in the afternoon the next day, I'm watching Hollyoaks EastEnders or some nonsense. I thought, what's this nonsense I'm watching?
Yeah, you did then, yeah. You're still watching now.
Yeah, watching it now.
I ain't got a TV. I haven't got a TV. I ain't even got a TV in our house. We've got a coffee table and we've got chairs. We speak, yeah? There's no TV. Yeah, we've got YouTube.
That'd be a very quiet house in my house.
But the thing is, I done that and I unplugged the TV. I'll give it to the officers. So now I'm meditating. I'm reading A, B, and C. And then that's when the transformation happened. And I started stopping gambling, stopping this, stopping that, and that was the journey from that experience. Now obviously my foundation is Christianity. I don't go to church because I'm not religious with the institution of stuff on this earth and what's around, but I know I had a relationship, and something happened with inside me where I have a relationship with the principles and stuff with Christ, like love your neighbor, A, B, and C, and all the Bible stuff, and that was the foundation. But I've got a relationship where I've become conscious, and I've got that still small voice is louder than this other one, where before it was the voice in the head. And if you live in your head, you're dead. So now I operate from my heart, and that's kind of...
Yeah, I mean,
wild, man.
mate, it's incredible. It's the development, and you know what you've done and where you are, mate, is an absolute credit. And you know, every time I hear your story, I think it's
the way you, like, that story you just said just then. You're just adding like little bits. Like first someone's chopped you in the head, then you've been chopped in the head. Next you're getting run over, then you're getting put in the boot. I'm like, what else is coming?
But you should be so proud, mate.
Mate, the level of discipline that you have installed in yourself to be able to, because I'm still listening to your story, and I think you are such a unique person, because we literally have built a business and brand around the fact that you need people in your life and you need a purpose, right?
But I do think there's people that have been guided. I do think he found a purpose, and that's kind of my
coming
point.
onto that now.
He's just he's done it a bit differently, and I think a lot of what Dwayne's done has been that trust element, and what he's been through. So people never go through half that stuff. The trauma you've been through in your life is just, you know, it's a real credit, mate. And you know,
just to go to the people, my miss. If it weren't for my missus, I probably wouldn't be here. As well as that experience, that supernatural experience, but my missus, because she hears the dialogue, she's that support as well, to be able to, or else it'd just be me and my reality in here. So she's there and seen proof of what I'm operating from. It's real and it's effective, because half of the stuff you see online now that people are doing, I was doing like 10, 12 years ago. So now it's all recent, all the fasting or this and all all the stuff that's relevant now that everyone's doing, I was doing 12 years ago.
Yeah.
So I know, and she knows, look. So I think it's the banker, my missus, and then you've got a few people in like the Alpha course, like Pete Jones, that said he sees certain things. So there is a collective of people were contributing factors to that support and that fertilizer to obviously who I am today.
100%. And I know we're dragging a little bit because your story's so. I mean, like you say, we could go on all day. But what I'd like to get to a couple of things. So, you look like a man who's really defined his purpose. Like, what is your purpose in life? Because, and I'm talking around now. Like, you've done so much, but talk a little bit about your business and talk about why you do what you do. And
so I evolved from working with young people in Feltham Young Offenders. I had contracts in there for about 4 years. Went into my local community, Buckinghamshire, got invitation from the Swan Envoy because of the impact that we had within Bucks. Like, my team were like social workers. They were just multi-hats doing multiple work within there. So I got invitation to sit on the Swan Envoy. But then I evolved from that because I was able to work with adults, business owners, and give them different insights to the traditional systems and processes, and even the way of thinking about the business. I'll go in. So what I do on a one-to-one, now I'm going into the company and doing that one-to-many, getting all the information and then getting certain downloads and then recommendations, and then working with the people to implement, break those narratives of limiting beliefs A, B, and C, and just sprinkling some real consciousness with the core four of excellence: consciousness, communication, competency, and compassion in the business. And what was happening, there was a big shift with the founders, directors, but also from grassroots, empowering them. Because once you empower your staff, you empower yourself, the whole business, the institution, the charity is operating from a different state of consciousness. And when you operate from a different state of consciousness, it opens up the door to new ideas. Things that have always been there, they're there now, but it's because we're not in that state. I have clients, I'll spend 3 days at the hotel with them. Within that first week, he wanted to get rid of his business. He was getting it audited for like 30 mil. Yeah, he just wanted to get rid of it, buy his villa. Then the first 3 days, he realised the business is not the problem. He's the problem. Now he's stepped into his purpose as a leader. He's been in the company for 20 years. Wow. Now he's going global, and within the first 2 weeks, he's 10x'd his investment with myself, and now he's just like a man on a mission. So it's just using my ability to activate people, and I believe it's regulation. Rich and famous and wealthy people don't buy information, because information is accessible just at the tip of your fingers. They buy regulation, because regulation is a vibration, and a vibration is creation. So what I do with my methodology, I help individual business owners, entrepreneurs, executives, and then sometimes I go in with a company and just help them tap into their purpose, and that's activating. Because sometimes we can go dormant. We could be working in the business and it gets a bit competitive, it gets a bit robotic, and then we start resenting our own position, our own roles.
I think that's half the world.
Exactly.
It's interesting because I think a lot of consultants, not that I don't think you call yourself a consultant.
No, I am. I'm an advisor and consultant.
Fine.
A human asset manager, advisor and consultant in human potential.
So it's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of consultants will go into the business, right? They're looking at the business. They're looking at the strategy behind the business, the vision. You're looking at the people.
Yes. And then we go on to that.
individually,
Yes.
and then you can go on to that. But
Yeah.
in order to run the best business, you have to almost do the deep work on yourself.
Yeah, to
be
lead
able
us.
to do that.
I talk a lot about relationship.
Yeah.
And what you are doing is building the relationship to find the inner them.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
Right.
that's
and
the
then
one.
that's what it is. And you're finding the best version of them people.
Yes.
You're right. And
That's
as
it.
soon as you find that, and I talk a lot around like the senior leadership teams and
Yes.
the people below that. How well do the leaders know them people? Because if you
Yes.
know the people within
Yeah.
your business, what makes them tick,
Yeah.
what job role they actually want in future,
Yes.
the business becomes better and it's getting the best potential out of them.
Yes.
Right? Really clever. Just want to ask you a quick one on that.
Yes, mate.
So you worked in the children's sector.
Yeah.
Right? It's a difficult sector to work in.
Yes.
Did you get to the point where you were like, do you know what? I don't want to rely on local authorities
Yeah.
or councils
Yes.
or schools.
Yes.
I want to be responsible for myself because again, it's
Yeah.
taking control
Yes.
of the. I am in control of what I do now, so I'm going to get out there because
Yeah.
it was a big change from
Yeah.
what you were doing.
Yes.
Did you kind of want to take, like you talk about in your life and the people around it? Did
Yeah.
you want to just take complete control of everything?
Yeah.
It's on me now.
See,
I'll
we're getting
go out
nuggets coming out. He's
Yeah.
getting nuggets out of me. No, because I didn't ever look at it like that. Even though there was residue of it, but you're bang on there. Because when, say, cuts are being, like Labour's coming in and they're cutting this, cutting that, and the people that are doing the cuts, they're not even like, yeah, they're educated, but they haven't even got wisdom. Because if you'd come in and do your due diligence properly, this company is saving you money, hundreds of thousands of pounds.
long term. I
Story
did.
of our life.
I did a big
Yeah.
form of research a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah,
The amount they save keeping them out of prison
yeah,
is scandalous.
exactly.
And you were doing that, but they make it so hard for you to do that, and organisations to
Well,
do
exactly.
that.
Well, even out of prison, say you got a kid on doles, yeah? So there's 5 to 1, yeah? They're spending hundreds of thousands per month, yeah, on this one child. Then my team go in, yeah, for myself, go in, that one kid, yeah, after a month, it's gone 3 to 1. And then after 2 months, it's I think 1 to 1, and then in semi-dependent within 2 months. The child has been on doles for the last 2 years, and that's what, however many 100,000 per week, yeah? And now the teams come in. If they use their loaf, but they're not, because people, they're educated, but they haven't got wisdom. So when that started happening, they cut, because even we were doing work for SEND as well, special mentoring, pro-social skills, taking them out, showing them the stuff. They even cut that as well because they say, oh, it's not education, but it's words. But you know, obviously people start getting all funny, but they cut that, and then that's why, I went where the money's at, not just the money's at, because the way I look at it, if I help change someone's narrative, that leader that's got 100 staff or 200 or big company, now there's all those people that are going to be affected. So I changed my model. If I can change this person and get him on a new level, then that's going to make major impact.
And you're not relying on anyone else, right?
And-
So
and-
you
and
to
that as
go
well,
and get
yeah,
the
security.
thing. So, like, yeah, I mean, look, we're going to move on because
Yeah.
we could talk all day. Can we just show Dwayne's website? Just want to talk while you're on screen, actually, about, you know, the kind of events you've been talking at, what you've been doing, where you've been sort of going. So, like, you spoke at Cambridge?
No, Oxford.
Oxford.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mate, that's
Oxford
some
University.
achievement, Oxford University,
Yeah.
man. How did that come about?
If I'd have told you that 10 years ago, you'd have been like...
Yeah, exactly. The opportunities of that's come, I think, due to the extreme turnaround has been pivotal for me. Look, all the 100 or however many officers giving back to society, community, and I think the government are very they're lacking bringing people like ourselves in those positions, on those tables, to bring some real grassroots wisdom, because it's beyond education. And I think once you bring the wisdom there, we're able to make a bigger impact within society. So
I think everybody in the world wants to know someone else is going through what you're going through.
Yeah.
So if someone else has been through or going through, you're not alone. And I think that's one of our biggest things is whenever people go through stuff, trauma, whatever it is, they feel alone. And when you've got somebody by your side or someone you know who's going through it or someone you see online going through it, if you know someone else is going through it, I think where the government struggle is they don't have enough lived experience people advising on the things that need advice on, because the money they spend on care, education could be saved if they were doing more earlier. And that's fact.
Yeah,
of course.
Get the right people in to help advise and it will be better.
It's leadership. It all falls down to leadership. It all falls down to leadership up the top there, and then working from top, bottom, top. It's that leadership. And if one isn't getting counselled or advised on the level with the information from there and sound advice, and it's going to fall short, isn't it?
And you've got to remember, these local authorities, they're businesses at the end of the day.
Yeah.
I often wonder how much they treat themselves like a business.
I think it's difficult for them though.
I know it is.
I think they get funding cuts as much as anyone else. So
Yeah, of course they do.
They're trying to work within budgets and the government's budgets and what's what. So I think, people talk about councils, schools. They're just getting money taken away the same as we was when we're in these situations. So everybody is trying to live. What the problem is that if they saved money earlier, if they spent more earlier, they save more in future.
Which I think...
And that's the point. It's the early
But
help.
I think you do that with a more of a business mindset. Because what you're talking about is short-termism.
They're
thinking short-term.
They're only modeled to think 3 years.
Yeah.
That's the problem. So if you had more early help in these areas, you'd save millions and millions. But they are in a short-term mindset because they have to be, because they're looking at budgets that are coming in and they don't know what government's coming in next. Exactly. So it's so difficult.
That whole thing's broken.
But to be honest with you, they're spending your money in the right places. And that's what it falls down to, because they're spending money, but it's not effective.
No. Yeah.
So then you're just wasting money, because then if you spent your money where it's effective, that problem is going to go away.
100%.
And then you're saving money and you'll obviously make an impact as well.
Yeah.
But that's where I think it's falling short.
Yeah, I mean, listen, mate, that's probably...
It would be all year.
45 minutes. That's probably 45 minutes of the most insightful stuff.
Yeah, 100%.
So grateful for you coming back on.
Yeah,
It's been a brilliant conversation. So we finished with... We've got 3 more bits. So we've got gripes. So I'm going to start this week with gripes. Because...
Why are you looking at me?
Well, because I know you feel this gripe.
Oh, good.
Right?
What's the gripe?
So this is something that frustrates us in the world.
Something that pisses you off.
So,
Okay, yeah.
phone signal at the moment in this country has gone. I can't get phone signal anywhere.
I thought I was the only one.
Are we all feeling that?
Where I live, right, which is tons of estates, built up area, Crowthorne,
Here he is.
next to
Live in
Bracknell,
Crowthorne, do you?
next to Bracknell, Camberley, Woking, right in the middle of all of it, right. It's not.
He didn't grow up in Slough, Dwayne.
I did not. It's not the countryside. I cannot get in my car and make a phone call, because if I get in my car and drive in any direction from my house, it cuts out.
Yeah.
What is that about?
Yeah.
And then I did a little bit of research on it, and they say my EE. I'm calling them out. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, Harry. I'm calling them out. They say they have 99% coverage in the UK. So what am I in the 1%?
But, mate,
Yeah, totally.
I drive out this office. I cannot make a phone call for 7 minutes. I go home. If my Wi-Fi isn't working, I get 0 phone signal.
Yeah.
Right?
Wild,
it's so bad.
Yeah.
Do you feel the same?
Yeah, I've been getting it recently, and I'm thinking, what's going on?
What network are you with?
I'm with EE now. I was with
I'm,
Free.
I'm with O2.
I was with Free.
Vodafone had to cancel my account because I've got no signal in my house.
I sacked off
but it
Vodafone.
was, mate, I mean, talking about that and another gripe, just while we're on it, because I am.
Here we go. Here he is.
Ringing Vodafone
Oh, yeah.
and talking to their automated system.
Yeah.
Mate,
How funny would it be, like their automated systems, or when you ring companies and you talk and you're talking back to them, how funny it would be the voice recordings of them.
yeah. Just people
when
getting pissed off.
Everyone's like, No!
Yeah.
Like, how many times do you do it? Can you imagine if you heard them little clips of when or like the people singing to the whole music and stuff
Mate,
like that?
Vodafone is the only company I've ever submitted a proper complaint to. Normally you're just like, oh, I can't be arsed, like it's what is their crap. I complained. That's how bad they are.
So bad. Have you got any gripes this week?
I have got a gripe, and as I said at the beginning of this podcast, Centre Parks. So I went to Centre Parks, took the family there. I reckon it was we were there for 4 days. By the end of day 3, me and the missus basically looked at how much money we'd spent. Oh. We'd spent nearly...
You all right, Harry?
No.
Sorry, mate.
Sorry, I thought you were having
I'm just familiar with this.
I thought you were having a little break.
Yeah, you're right.
So we'd spent nearly $1,000 on food in 3 days, right? Now, if that's not bad enough, and the problem was, it's because she was getting bits, I was getting bits, the kids constantly asking for stuff. I didn't have a good meal while I was there.
Yeah, they don't do an all-inclusive option, do they?
Awful. Like the actual place itself, to go with the family, good crack. Lots of activities. Boys loved it. Oh, mate, the food and the cost there. Everything was 5 kilometres away and £38. It didn't matter what it was. Free lollies, £38. Like, you want some breakfast, £38 a head. It was jokes, mate. Absolute jokes. And you come away resenting it.
And did you have to... so, when you pay for where you stay...
Yeah.
Right.
Then you have to pay for
you
all the
have
activities.
to pay for all the activities
yeah.
individually. You don't get anything free apart from the swimming.
I think you get the swim free. I mean, I'd love to say I did the booking. I didn't. But the problem as well, Lisa went a bit busy on the booking.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
But was there a big itinerary?
5 things a day, mate. It was. She was like a drill sergeant. We're on to the next thing. Boys are zip lining. He's like.
I can imagine you were thrilled with that.
Oh, nah, not for me.
How it was Reagan's birthday, right?
Reagan's birthday.
How old was he?
He was 5.
Wow. I mean, we all remember our 5th birthday, so...
I don't.
I don't.
Yeah, that's my point.
Oh.
Cheers, Harry, mate.
Yeah, cheers, Harry.
Anyway, money well spent, yeah.
Someone's obviously been quiet in this podcast and wants it to be about them.
Yeah. You wanted your moment then, didn't you?
Have you got any gripes, Dwayne, in the world
What
at the
winds
moment?
you up, mate?
What winds you up?
When I go into the sauna and there's just loads of heads in there. I love it when you go in and you can. That's why I change my times and slip in, and then just slip in. But then when you go in there, it's like, oh, cool, blind decamp.
Because you got to talk to him.
Yeah.
Or is it awkward silence?
No, I used to, yeah. I used to go in and then I'd obviously start a conversation. There'd be like 6 heads Monday morning, like hands in the head, and I say, gents. Today's going to be an amazing day. And then one of them go, how do you know? I said, life told me to tell you.
What are you like now when you walk in there?
No, I'm like, I turn around and then I try to run outdoors.
Someone stops you on the way out and said, you're going to have a good day.
And he said, well, you've just ruined it, mate.
Yeah. Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
I like the idea that there's a guy on a podcast somewhere saying, I'll tell you what my gripe is. It's the bloke who talks to me in the sauna every week.
That's the one, yeah. I used to be that guy. Yeah. Now I see him and go,
I think saunas are one of the most awkward places in the world.
Yeah.
But because I always find if you're in there with someone else, it becomes a competition.
That's what I was just about to say.
what, to stay longer?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Throwing the water on.
Well, it shows that we're not at one with ourselves like you. We're in our minds. I'm in my mind going.
It comes straight into.
I leave him before this guy.
Not.
I leave him before this guy. He's older than me. Come on, boy.
I'm outlasting him. And I don't do well in heat. And I'm like.
We're like fate as we're coming out.
Like, nearly going. It always becomes a competition.
Yeah.
But then you feel like, if I don't talk to him, I look rude.
Yeah.
If I do talk to him, I don't want to. Yeah.
Anyway, I don't need a sauna. I just go in Brian's car. It's bad enough, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's another gripe of mine.
Although we had to put some heat on last week for you, didn't we, Princess?
Yeah. We won't go there.
No. All right, pal. Cool. So moving on to your questions, Harry.
Yeah, just a few quick ones.
Come on, Big H.
Yeah.
Nothing too major this week, just 3.
All right.
What you got for us?
I've got some questions.
Oh, cheers.
Cheers, mate.
Yeah,
Oh,
well,
no.
Oh.
He never does.
You're not having prepped?
He edits this bit out, though, so he doesn't look bad.
Well, I have prepped. I just don't.
Right?
You all right?
We're not going to get into it. There's no command on Windows.
Sorry about this, Dwayne. You're probably
mate,
used to
that's
more
all right.
professional.
Yeah. Oh, I've got one.
Oh, mate. Go on then.
I'm just trying to remember the guy's name. I probably shouldn't.
It doesn't need to be the guy. Just what's the worst advice?
I'm gonna call out the guy. So there's a guy. He was on The Apprentice, and I actually think he might have even won The Apprentice. Joseph Valente. You ever heard of him? He's
no.
like he's I think it's a plumbing company, that type of thing,
Okay.
and he's built quite a big company.
Are we going to get to the question?
Yeah. I am
sweet.
getting there, mate. I'm just letting you know who he is, and he's quite an outspoken guy, and like big on the hustle porn type culture. And every now and again, he uploads his morning routine. Right now, I've got no problem with a morning routine. You've probably got a much better one than
He
I
did have a
have.
problem before you.
No,
Come
no,
on, Dwayne.
no. There are morning routines, and there are morning routines. And his is like 40 things, starting at 4 o'clock in the morning, involving 4 coffees. In fact, Harry, after this, let's get it up so people can actually see it. Anyway, he always posts it on LinkedIn every now and again, I think, because he knows he gets engagement, because people absolutely hammer him for it. And it is the most ridiculous morning routine you've ever seen in your life, mate. He's doing it for about 3.5 hours before he even goes to work, and I just don't believe he does any of it. But that's one of mine.
Is this the bloke who puts his face in a bowl of water? Like 5
No,
times?
but I know
Oh,
who
no,
you're
yeah,
talking
okay, that's a
about.
different
But
bloke.
he's one of those people who I think he's realised that online you get engagement if you say quite outlandish things. So he's always talking about going and buying his Lamborghini, and he says quite controversial business stuff around success because he knows that it gets the engagement. But yeah, listen, I'm a big believer of a good morning routine, but you got to see this, guys. It's absolutely nuts. So yeah, I'd say that.
What about you, Dwayne?
Mine is just the grinding hard and just the force, the grinding hard, the hours, A, B, and C. So there's a guy I went into the sauna. I was speaking this time. Yeah, I didn't shut the door. But I said to him, because he was a potential client, yeah, but he obviously weren't ready. And then I've gone into the sauna. He goes, I go, how are you? He goes, busy. I said, it's not about being busy, mate. I said, it's about being. I said, you got to get others to be busy for you.
It's true though, isn't
But
it?
the thing is that work hard and force and A, B, and C, it's not, the physics will show you, it's about being, and creating as if it already is. And life will present you with the circumstances, situation and events. I know obviously you have to do, but there is proof in the pudding that if you can do the inner work, the outer work will automatically unfold. Yeah, but all that long hours and thing, you're driving yourself to the grave.
It's like we were saying earlier on with my painting, isn't it? It's probably taking time out and being creative makes me a much better leader of a business. But sometimes it can be so easy to get sucked into that work, grind.
You're thinking you're doing wrong
Yeah.
by not doing
Yeah.
that. And that is a prison within itself.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Of course it is. What about you?
I think mine would be people trying to convince people that things they don't believe in, like aliens.
What's that?
Advice people get given. No, I think mine would be that it's easy. Business is easy. Like, and that you haven't got to work. I see a lot of people, like I think a lot of the influencers, I think a lot of the people on social media give the young people and adults, actually, it's not just young people, the belief that it's easy to just go and earn money. It's
and
easy.
quick.
And
Yeah.
quick. Like, I think that's my biggest problem,
Yeah.
is that I think a lot of people want to earn as much money for as less work as possible.
Yeah.
And I think what people make them believe is it's really easy because
Yeah.
they've been successful. I guess the other thing on that, and just what Rich was saying, is I think a lot of the social media clicks come from controversy. So I think when you're doing something positive, I think it's hard. So I think
Yeah,
a
of
lot of
course,
people
yeah.
see controversy and then become more controversial, like the manosphere stuff. It's like
Yeah.
that would be the thing. The people that the advice that people are getting from are a lot of the time wrong, but they do it for the clicks.
do
It's
it,
not
yeah.
actually who they are.
Yeah, and
as
it's so dangerous. It's so dangerous creating content for an algorithm. And I think we notice that sometimes, right? We've started putting out content, and it's interesting because you might put out a video. I mean, you must have seen it. You put out a video where you're thinking, this is like I'm talking some like good, like this is proper good advice.
Yeah.
and you're not getting any views on it and you might say something a bit more controversial. Like I saw one of your videos the other day where you were talking. I thought it was real clever, because your point was like, I've done AA, I've done religion, I've done that. None of it worked for me. It was all surface level, right? But so that's quite a controversial statement. I can see why that get clicks. But then you dive down into the why, and it's actually really clever the way you've done it. So I think you can do it in the right way if it ends on a positive.
Course,
you can hook people in with it.
I'm not saying you can't have controversy. What I'm saying is I think a lot of people watch the wrong advice. Which would be one of my frustrations.
Yeah.
Quick one.
I think
are England going to win the World Cup?
I think minimal. I think we'll
Close to zero.
I look at that France squad and I'm struggling to see beyond France.
Yeah,
to be honest, I think it's
a long way away.
But the thing is, most of the times when we go into like a tournament like this, you're not really that excited by it. You don't think we're going to do anything. We actually end up doing all right, but I can't see it, to be honest.
No,
what do you reckon?
No.
Watch football?
No, I don't really watch football, but I just know from...
He knows it's not coming home.
Yeah. Nah, it's not coming home.
But the thing I find of it is nobody cares about it until it's on, and then the flags start going up when we get past the group stage, and then everybody cares.
It's so
you have
true.
to put policies out.
You
at
watch
work where they're not allowed to come into work. The next day.
I'm telling you now, we'll be sat in here in England shirts in the semi-finals. We will be.
I won't. I don't wear white very often.
No, you shouldn't. To be fair. You enjoy that?
Yeah, just a weird comment and then a weird criticism. I don't wear white very often. Well, you should.
Who will be the worst employee as a teenager?
Dwayne.
Yeah, definitely.
But he'd probably be the best employee as an adult, though.
I tell you what, though. I don't think there was a part-time job I didn't get sacked from, or just walk away.
It's in the competition.
No, I'm just
Dwayne, or are we saying you?
No. It's definitely Dwayne. It's definitely Dwayne. But I think, as I said, like I talk a lot about my childhood, and I was unemployable even back then. I didn't enjoy being bossed about. I didn't agree with a lot of the stuff that I had to do, and I probably should have, to be fair.
I think a lot of it comes down to I think three of us are the same. Was taking direction and being told what to do. I always struggle with that, and I think when you get older and you get your own business and you kind of are your own boss, things become easier. In terms of that. But I think we'd have all been tough teenagers to employ. But I think your employment. I think you were looking for different ways of employment at that time. It wasn't really employment. You were doing different jobs to earn money. I think I think Dwayne potentially would have been the hardest out of three of us.
That's it.
Love that,
mate. Thanks so much for coming on. I mean, that was brilliant. That was so good.
Yeah, 100%. We'll put your links up everywhere, all over this, so people can find out more about you. But I guess if here's a chance to I guess give yourself a little bit of a platform in terms of where you're going next. Who listening to this should be working with you, and sort of what are they going through right now that it would just click and you're the right person for them?
Okay, so the right person to work with me would be a business owner, small to medium business owner that feels like they're imprisoned within the business and they just feel like they're chasing their tail. And basically, they want to scale, but they just don't know how, what, where. And another might not be a business owner, entrepreneur, might be just struggling with life and know there's another version of them that's not coherent with their current circumstance and situation, and they want to obviously tap into that version of themselves to obviously make a splash in life.
I think there are so many disenfranchised people out there who are, as you said earlier on, like just settling, just stuck in something that I think would love to change their life and to do something more positive and find that sort of purpose and belief, but they just don't know how. So yeah,
definitely. I met Matt, and I think you're one of the most inspiring people
100%.
I've ever met in my life.
100%.
And I think anyone watching this can be inspired by what this man's done in his own life, but I believe that he could bring the best out of anyone as well. So do get in touch. We'll put all his details up. It's been amazing to have you back on, mate, and good luck with everything.
Thank you.
We'll stay in contact, obviously. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Thank you.